Folks, Rob Daniels here for the movie, TV, and video game soundtrack program Visions and Sound. I can be found each and every week, 12 to 2 a.m. on FM 98.5, and if you miss a show, which, hey, does happen, you can also find me on my website, visionsinsound.ca. So here we are. This is video 3 of my Halloween special, and this time I'm doing a video game. And the video game in question is the 2010 game Alan Wake. Now, for those that may not be that familiar with Alan Wake, Alan Wake is set in the small town of Bright Falls. And while I've never actually played the game, I have seen some gameplay footage. It's some pretty creepy stuff. And it's basically Alan Wake is a writer who's suffering from writer's block. And we've all run into that every once in a while. But Alan Wake has nightmares about shadowy figures trying to kill him and that sort of thing, which does happen. And the fact that he is now in Bright Falls is trying to kind of maybe decompress and that sort of thing, though because it's a game and because it's set in a place called Bright Falls, things are going to happen. In any case, the music here is done by composer, and hopefully I'm pronouncing this man's name correctly, Petri Alanko. And it's a really good score. It starts off kind of slow, and I'll play you a little bit of an example here. Here we go. See what I mean? Starts a little bit slow. Then all of a sudden, somebody wakes up Petri Alanko, and we get some great stuff like this. Now again, like I said, I haven't played Alan Wake, but here's some gameplay footage to kind of give you an idea of what's going on and the whole...
My name is Alan Wake. I'm a writer. I've always had a vivid imagination, but this dream unsettled me. It was wild and dark and weird, even by my standards. So yes, it began with a dream. Following a typical nightmare pattern, I was late, desperately trying to reach my destination, a lighthouse. For some urgent reason, I couldn't remember. I'd been driving too fast down a coastal road to get there. I'd seen the hitchhiker too late. He was dead. I was convinced they'd put me in jail and I would never see Alice again. Suddenly, his body was gone. I was in shock from the crash. I could hardly stay on my feet. I had to go to the lighthouse. I knew there was something important waiting for me there.
You don't even recognize me, do you, Ryan?
And the whole idea is that it's kind of like your... Well, I played games similar to it. I played like Max Payne, and I played, games like that. So it has that kind of feel to it. For me, it's all about the music. Now, the music was released. So as with most games in this era, the soundtrack does have an official release. It did get a vinyl release, if I'm not mistaken. And but the version that I have was released on Something Else Music. So this is pretty cool. This was sent to me. Again, these are the kind of things that happened in the 2010s. You got sent a lot of different soundtracks from different games, and this one was in particular. And like I said, the game is particularly creepy, but it works. And like I said, Petri Alanko's score works really well. Here you go. So there you go. Some music from the video game Alan Wake as we reach the third and unfortunately final videos of my Halloween treats special. I did a movie, I did a TV show, and now I've done a video game. And so what I'd like you to do is, as Galadriel might say if she was here momentarily, she was climbing up the back here. What one might say is, please, she would say, like, share, subscribe, and please comment. If you have a favorite video game score, if you have something that you'd like to see up on the show, I am working on a recommendation video, so please bear with me while that comes together. Also, if you're interested in any of the film, television, or video game music that I do play on my show, you can tune in every week, 12 to 2 a.m. on FM 98.5. And if you miss a show, which does happen, you can also try me on my website, visionsinsound.ca. I am on Blue Sky these days at visionsinsound.bsky.social. I can also be found on GoodPods, a downloadable app for your phone or other type devices. And I can also be found on many of the other podcatchers out there, including, maybe the likes of Apple Music. Now, folks, I know this time of year can be a little bit down because of the change of seasons, the change of weather, and now it gets darker outside. But if you're running into problems, please call 911 for immediate help. You can also dial or text 988 for the Suicide Crisis Helpline. You can try 1-844-HERE-247 and HERE247.ca. They all offer ways of getting help if you or someone you know may be suffering from mental health issues. So with all that in mind, folks, I hope you're enjoying your Halloween festivities, as I know I will be, as I will be watching John Carpenter's The Thing, probably The Crow, and I'll be doing some other fun stuff along the way. So with that in mind, folks, hopefully you'll have a wonderful Halloween. Like I said, have a happy Halloween. Get out there and enjoy some fantastic scores, some wonderful scores, and also get out there and listen to some composers you may not necessarily have heard before. Because the thing is that there are composers out there that are worthy of your time. Petri Alanko is a perfect example of that. So have yourself a great Halloween. Have yourself a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.
And here's a new song from a band that they always remind me of our local rock legends, the Old Gods. I couldn't tell you why. I guess it's just, one of those things. Anyway, here's Poets of the Fall and their latest single, War.
Do you remember standing on a broken field? White crippled wings beating the sky. The harbingers of war with their nature revealed, and our chances flowing by. If I can let the